Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Well, we talk about what these changes are that are happening in this world today, and we can see just the kind of insanity that is going on and how it's going to continue onwards for some time. But the important aspect is to remember is that the flow of the universe is the flow of the universe, and there's no particular individual, you can say, who's above that flow. And as we know that the harmonics of the planets are coming into that alignment at this time, and will continue to do so, is a time that brings change. But it brings a change in the alignment of the planets. We call that the harmonic convergence of the planets itself, is to bring a harmony to the world. But we're in this crux stage now of that, and we knew that it would happen when we get into the last phase of this age, of this darker age, Kali Yuga. We call that fourth age. And we get into that part of it as we're into it now, that those who want to maintain certain kind of controls over us, taking away certain rights, human rights, all the things that we see that are going on, is really only temporary, but it has great impact. And the biggest impact that it has, which it's calculated to have, is the impact that it has on our psyche. That it means the impact that it has on our thinking, and how it manipulates our thinking process. That's why over these last few years there's been the fake news and all of that that's going on in order to create confusion. So the understanding is that if we are confused and we are unsure and we're being doubted in our own minds, and there's that propaganda, you can say, that's creating that division, that duality within our own minds of what is real and what is not real. That kind of smokescreen has been created and is continually being created in order to take away any feeling of power that we have. Divide and conquer. So divide and conquer, well, we know that that's how many years, hundreds, thousands of years, that divide and conquer attitude has taken place and has divided people and divided this world and created countries and languages and barriers. So that this world now that we live in this 2025, is a world that is divided, and countries and languages and people, and we're divided from each other even within our own countries. So this divide and conquer mentality is very effective. It divides us. But today it's a sophistication of that division that goes deeper into our subconscious and unconscious mind. And they know there's, they say the they, but they know that they know how to penetrate into that and use sophisticated methods to create that implant into our psyche that creates a doubt within us. So as long as we're doubting ourselves, as long as we're doubting each other, as long as we're pitted against each other, which is what's happening, and then it filters down into all our different groups and our sanghats and congregations and everything, and then within our own self we feel that division. So what happens then? Then those who want to maintain the current status of their own power situations throughout the world maintain that status, because in a sense we're rendered powerless. So that's really what's been transpiring for some time now, and we're in a system that promotes it so that we don't have any power really to come against it. So I don't want to get too far into that, but the reality is, what do we do? The question is, because many people come to me and they say, Bhai Sabji, what can we do during these times? What are the things that we can prepare ourselves, and how can we prepare ourselves to understand it? So that we can keep a sanity, we can keep a balance within ourselves. It's why I talk so much about that balance and having a mental, physical, and spiritual balance, which I talk so much about in being together as Sangha, as congregation, to support each other, to stand under each other during these times. And it demands upon us to have a very calm understanding of what's going on. Not to react to it, not to get, you could say, freaked out by it, but to understand this is the times that we're facing. But also to understand that these times will change, shall change, are changing, and we're going to change as these times are changing. So individually, we have a responsibility for ourselves. And to me, that responsibility is to be clear, to have a clear mind, a clear consciousness, a meditative consciousness, vibrating Simran meditation, chanting. Vibrate the mind with sound current, with that vibration, so that we're keeping those channels of the brain open, And we're experiencing the light, the jyot, that light of God within ourselves, of that creation within ourselves. And to feel it, that only comes through establishing a spiritual practice. And if your spiritual practice is strong, you're strong. Because the spiritual practice is what carries us, connects us. When we do meditations, Vaheguru Simran, we do Pat, we do reading of scripture, we do that which helps us to condition this mind and create the balanced mind. And in my years of study and practice, it's the meditation that creates the balanced mind. So we don't get the negative, we don't just get the positive, but we find the neutral place. That calmness, sahaj we say, that calmness within ourselves. And to physically relax our body, to do this yoga, to do exercising, to do something that moves your body, that creates a circulation into your body system every day. So body circulation is strong, organs are strong, blood is flowing, nerve system is good. All those parts, glandular system, stays strong. So strong physical body, strong mental body through Simran, through vibration, through meditation, and to experience your experience of that which created creation. So we have an experience of our own infinity. That can never be taken away from us. Different guards can put on, we can be put in different pockets and this, that, things can happen to us. But we can never lose, nobody can ever take away our experience of our consciousness. So we have to understand that each of us has that understanding that nothing can take away from us human consciousness. So human consciousness, why do I say so much? You hear me say meditative practice, spiritual practice, sadhana, all those things. So the consciousness stays strong. And the conscious awareness of the self within the universal self and the universe itself is a blend, is a merge. My light merges into the light of the universe, Jyoti Jyot, moves into the light of the universe. That can't be taken from us. But that experience has to become very strong. That's what we talk about, the harmony of the human being. The harmonized human is that balanced body, mind, and spirit. And not to fall into negative thinking. Because negative thinking more than anything will take you away and will take more out of you than anything else. And really everything that's going on that's being given to us is negative thought. And we're hearing such negativity coming from those we call our leaders, you can say. But they're so negative. And that negativity goes deep into the psyche. So we have to guard ourselves from that. How do we guard ourselves? We guard ourselves through establishing our spiritual practice. Through a spiritual practice, mentally, physically, and within our consciousness, to vibrate at a higher frequency within the self, to understand the ebb of the flow, and then we connect with each other at that frequency. And that in time, my belief, is what will change this world. When those connections become so strong, because we'll see that this smokescreen, all of this nonsense, all of this stuff, as long as they keep the Mother Earth doesn't get destroyed by this, then we're all doomed. Then we're gone. But the commitment is to be made to you. You have to make, my belief, that commitment within yourself. That says, through this time of this age, my consciousness will stay strong. My connection to my universal consciousness will be strong. My intuitive mind shall be strong. My meditative consciousness will guide me through it. My intuitive mind will take me there. So that's why I never lose hope. I see what's going on, but I never lose that hope. There's that word hopeless. It doesn't mean no hope. It means sometimes we have a little less hope, but there's never no hope. And that's the strength of our consciousness. So let us remind ourselves of that, remain in that strength of that consciousness. Vibrate the Nam deep within you. Every day, vibrate the Shabad, that sound current, that vibration. So your heart, your anahat can open and vibrate that sound within. That tunes the mind. Mind is like an instrument. If I'm playing that instrument with that guitar or something and those strings are out of tune and they're not tuned in, then what happens? The sound becomes just, we don't know. But as soon as we put those strings into tune and we strum that chord, there's harmony. And that's the same within us. We have these surahs, these strings within us that get tuned in through our meditative mind. So we become that melodic instrument of consciousness. And we don't feel the jaggedness, or if you listen to you strum a guitar that's out of tune, it has no frequency. So we have to keep our frequency very, very strong always. And the strength of our frequency is what will carry us. And together as we unite that frequency, that's why we talk about what are those 3 stages of consciousness. First we say is individual. So individual consciousness is I have that responsibility within myself to be conscious, to meditate, to vibrate the sound, to connect. So the first stage is individual. Second is what we call group, sangat, congregation, where we merge that together with each other and we have a global congregation, a global sangat. Second step. And the third step is the realization of infinity. So consciousness goes from the individual, you can say, to the group, to infinity, to beyond. Because as we merge, we in ourselves vibrate that frequency, we merge that frequency together with each other, we vibrate that together, and that lifts us to have the experience of consciousness, global consciousness. And that connection of Sangat is global. We may not be able to be together with each other, physically, but we are able to connect through consciousness. The vastness of our consciousness is that we connect everywhere. Don't we sometimes think of each other, you're here, but somebody's there, and 5,000, 10,000 miles, but we connect. Oh, I felt you today. I was thinking today of you. Oh, I was thinking of you today. Oh, and then we feel that. I thought of you and this experience came to me, and we merge that way globally, and that's increasing. And these generations coming now up, the children of these generations and the future generation are even more in tune with that consciousness and that collective consciousness. So let us understand the times. Don't be taken over by the times, be consciously understanding the times. Don't react to the times. In reaction, act in these times through consciousness and spread the message. We need to share this message. And as the duality of what's going on in this world and the subjugation of human rights that is taking place, especially with minorities and people that have made other choices in their lives to live, are being persecuted, that's also a wake-up call to all of us. So that will go against what those who are trying to create these divisions, but we won't be divided. And we have to work to protect the human rights and the rights of choice for all people. We have to support that, work for it, dedicate our lives to it. And our next generations, it is our prayer, our ardas, our prayer, that these generations to come, our generations, our children, their children, their children's children, shall inherit a world of peace, prosperity, acceptance, tolerance, to see the light that lives in the heart of every soul, to see what is the same within each other, to accept and protect what choices are being made of how people are choosing to live in a conscious way, to express how they feel they want to live. That we can't control another person. And learn to accept. And that acceptance will change this world. We have to start to accept it. And if we can accept it, and we can be examples of that acceptance through consciousness, which is happening and will continue, because this is even bringing more to us, to our attention, that we have to live in consciousness. And it shall be. So let us keep that strength. Never let yourself fall. Never let yourself down, and never let anybody else down. That's the mantra of this age. Keep up, and you'll be kept up. Never say anything bad about yourself. Never say anything bad about anyone else. and help those who are falling to stand. That's the seva. That's a service to give to humanity. And live that. And Satsangajit, we shall have victory. We shall have that victory. I may not see it in my lifetime, but we shall see it in the future. So let us live to that consciousness, live in peace, open our heart, spread the news that change is inevitable, and good change shall be, and we shall change those forces that want to take away our freedoms by establishing a very true conscious global consciousness that our freedoms can never be taken, and that we can see the light of every heart and see the beauty that lives in every soul. If we don't see God in all, then we don't see God at all. If we don't see the light within each other, then we don't see any light. Let us see that Jyot. Let us merge into that Jyot, into that light. And humanity shall be saved. And through our deep spiritual practices and connections, we shall be carried across this world ocean. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Please subscribe to our Library of Teachings Legacy Project. Our Legacy Project and your subscriptions help to give us that opportunity to compile the many, many years of teachings of videos, lectures, and classes of Harinam Singh Khalsa. Please visit our website, anandlotus.com, to subscribe. Satnam.